Jason Lloyd of The Athletic, who joins us now on the Fan Hotline about that plan. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, boys, what's going on?
Well, first off, happy anniversary there, fella.
Oh, nice.
It's this weekend. Thank you.
Yeah.
How many years?
I got to get this right. 17.
No. 17.
All right. What do we get for the anniversary there, fella?
Well, I can't tell you. What if she finds out?
Oh, she's
What if I
not
haven't bought it
listening
yet?
right now. Come on.
Well, someone else might be that tells her, or they tell her that I may not have bought it yet. So why don't you just mind your own business there and get on to something else?
There are a lot of snitches out there.
So
That's a good point.
Do you go by? I started going by what each year is supposed to be. So Elise and I just celebrated our 4th this last year, and it's like fruit and jewelry is like the kind of so anyway, I got her like this like strawberry necklace or whatever to kind of go with everything,
And then an orange.
and then, yeah, it was just a whole basket of bananas. How about furniture? Furniture is number 17. Is it in the furniture class?
Oh, that's cute that you actually still pay attention to that stuff. That tells you you're a newlywed. No, you don't pay any attention to that. Furniture, I'll be sleeping on the couch if I buy furniture. I'll be sleeping on it. Although, real quick, I don't know if I told you guys this. When we were dating, speaking of gifts, this is hilarious. When we were dating, we first started dating, I bought her a dishwasher because the house that she had, we were young, the house that she bought didn't have a dishwasher. But you can't wrap a dishwasher. So I wrapped the instruction manual, but I needed a box to put it in. So I put the box for the dishwasher instruction manual in a jewelry box.
Oh.
And wrapped it.
Oh.
And yeah.
That's
and
so,
I
it's
gave
almost
her a
mean.
jewelry box with dishwasher instructions in it, and that was her Christmas gift. Was a dishwasher and a toaster. That's what I got her.
And she still married you.
Me.
What a fake out.
Yeah.
She still married me.
Yeah. This is kind of on her at this point. If you think about it, if you like really start to put it all together. Jason.
I mean, I kind of laid it out for her early on how it was going to go, and she did anyway. So it's her fault, not mine.
No, that's fair. If you gave the upfront warning, it's really just poor judgment on their part. I did the same thing for Vanessa.
At that point.
All right, Jason, what do you think the Browns' plan is this year?
Lose a lot of games, get a high pick, and draft a quarterback next year.
Is that the intention, or is that just the inevitability?
I mean, I don't know if it really matters what the intent. I think that if they're being realistic, Jimmy has kind of hinted at this. Jimmy Haslam hinted at this both in March when he talked to us at the owners' meetings and again a week or two ago when he met with the media that, this is a process and it could take 2 to 3 years to find the quarterback. And, I think if you're being honest, how this is going to go. And anyone who thinks this is a playoff team, I would like to introduce you to the rest of the AFC. Like, no, this just isn't a playoff team. So, I think it got a lot of questions that they can try and get answers to this year. It doesn't have to be a completely lost season. The Judkins thing is a huge blow because that was one of the things that you wanted to sort of get addressed, that you feel good about these running backs that you drafted. But, take a look at the quarterbacks, see if maybe you ran into something. But more than likely, I think they left the draft thinking they were going to be taking a quarterback at the top of next year's draft.
You wrote today that you still believe Pickett would have won the starting job outright had he been healthy. I agree with you, by the way, but you added that he'll still likely get a turn on the carousel. What does that look like? How do we get to a spot where Kenny Pickett ends up playing this year?
I'm taking you off Bluetooth because I just pulled the driveway. I just think he's got to be healthy. I think if he's healthy, I think they want to get a look at him. And I could be totally wrong on that. The caveat I probably should have added in that is I think we can all agree that they think Dillon is ahead of Shedeur. If they think Dillon is ready to be the backup quarterback and he could handle the role if thrust into it, maybe you skip a step with one of the veterans, you move on from one of the veterans at that point. I don't think they're there yet with that, which is why I just think everybody's going to get a turn at this. I definitely think they're going to play both of these rookies at one point. You have to. That's if nothing else, getting an answer on that definitively by the end of the year is one of the questions that you can answer, whether in the affirmative or negative this year. But I just think if he's healthy, I know a lot of people thought I was nuts, but I just think if you lay out and look at the order of how everyone got here and their priorities and the way that they went about doing things, I thought Kenny was going to be the starter. But obviously he had the hamstring. I think it was more severe. It's weird. Like the whole hamstring thing is just weird because at the beginning I was told like it's kind of severe, and then it seemed like he was making really good progress and coming back fast and healing quick, and didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. And now here it really has sort of prolonged and kind of taken quite a while. So, if he's back in the next couple of weeks, if he can get healthy, I do think that he gets a look, or they take a shot at him before moving on and taking a look at the rookies.
Jason, how soon could you see them taking a look at the rookies this year?
Hopefully sooner than later, because you got two of them. It's not just one rookie, it's two of them. So I've been pretty consistent. By the time we get to the end of the year, I would hope that either Shedeur or Dillon have the most starts at quarterback. I'd rather see them than Pickett or Flacco. I'm in the camp also that of all these guys, Shedeur is the only one that looks to me as if he's got any sort of runway to be a long-term solution. But it's pretty clear by now that there's just not a lot of people who are as high on him as the general public is. That for him to fall as far as he did, for him to be as far behind Dillon as he is, it's pretty evident that what NFL teams are looking for does not always align with what we think we see.
So what's off there? Why do you think that is, that the perception right now is that the Browns favor Dillon over Shedeur?
I think they trust him more. I think they believe that he can handle more. And, I don't have him in front of me now, but I put in the story about the pre-snap motion, and then particularly on third downs, it was up with Dillon. I think it was over 60% of pre-snap motion on third down, and with Shedeur it was under 20%. That's just an indicator that they trust Dillon more than they do Shedeur. And I was talking to a NFL coach this week who watched the tape of Shedeur's first game against Carolina and said he was late. He was really, really late. He said, I know the numbers look great, but he was really late on a lot of throws in a lot of places. It was nowhere near where the ball was supposed to go. Now, that's an NFL coach saying that. That's not me saying that. And when we watch it, we see, the throw he made in the end zone was an unbelievable throw. Mm-hmm. He threw it through three guys. To us, we're like, wow, that's unbelievable. NFL coaches are looking at different things than we are, obviously. That's why he went to the fifth round. That's why he stuck behind Dillon Gabriel. They're looking for things differently than what we think we see with our eyes. That's the only explanation I have. And I say that as someone who wants to see Shedeur play. I want to see him succeed. I'd love it. If the Browns somehow stumbled into a franchise quarterback with a fifth-round pick, that would be enormous. I just don't have a lot of faith of it happening because of what I just said, and the fact that he is stuck behind Dillon, and there's only 1 year to go. Because if there's any sort of uncertainty, if they've got a high pick next year, if they can be in position to get a high pick next year, they are going to take a quarterback. So it's the frustrating part about where this stands is normally when you take a quarterback in the third, rarely do you ever take a quarterback in the third and fifth round. But if you take a mid-level guy, right, a mid-round guy, a third-round guy, a fifth-round guy, usually you're doing it because he's got a long runway to develop. He's a long-term developmental project. Can we agree on that? You're going to have 2-3 years to develop a guy before you need him. Typically, probably there's a veteran in front of him, whatever, ideally. That's not the case here. You got 1 year. So you have to throw these guys in there, and you have to see what they have. And it may not be fair to them, but life isn't fair. And the NFL certainly isn't fair. So they have to make a decision. They have 17 games to make a decision. So hopefully we get to the rookies sooner than later on that, so that you've got at least some sort of a data set and a sample size to determine, did we get lucky on something here, or do we need to follow our plan? What I think is their plan is to take another quarterback to the top of the first round next year.
Jason Lloyd of The Athletic on the fan hotline right now. So, big picture, is there anything Shedeur can do to leapfrog Dillon before week one or before Dillon sees the field first?
No, I don't think so. Not at this point. If it was going to happen, it would happen already. It's August 21st? Mm-hmm. If he was going to pass him, he would have passed him already. Now, if he goes out and plays out of his mind Saturday, I don't know, maybe, but we thought he played great against Jacksonville. And then he got hurt, understandably, maybe. But I don't think he was passing Dillon anyway. I think they like Dillon more. I think they trust Dillon more. And again, it may not make sense to you. It doesn't always make sense to me, but I think they're looking at things and looking for things differently than how we see it. And there's been plenty of quarterbacks who have looked terrific in preseason games who never panned out in the NFL. The NFL preseasons are full of unbelievable performances from guys who never scratched anything close to a decent NFL career. But no, at this point, I think he's going to have to wait it out. I think he will get a turn. but I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
Jason, it seems odd that you take two running backs in the draft, and now we're talking about whether or not they should be adding another running back. Like that's the story today.
Well, they took two quarterbacks, and they had to sign another quarterback. So.
Yeah. And so, do you feel like they are going to sign another running back? And on top of that, how much of that is related to Judkins and where he currently stands?
I think it's totally related to Judkins. I don't think that they would trade for one. I would be surprised if they traded for a running back. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if they brought somebody else in, or after cut downs, if they bring someone else in that they like. But yeah, I don't know how you can draw any other conclusion other than this relates to Judkins, and obviously they're going to let this thing play out before he even signs. And I think the contract. I mean, listen, if he wants a fully guaranteed deal, how do you tell him no when you just brought in Isaiah Bond off the street who went through something very similar and you gave him a fully guaranteed contract? So there's the legal process of this, and there's the contract itself. And I have no idea if that's a hang-up or not. I don't know. But I know that's the thing with second-round picks and trying to get guaranteed contracts. And you gave one to Schlesinger, and you just gave one to an undrafted guy. So how do you not give one to him? So once they work through the process of NFL investigation, whatever else, if there's any sort of discipline to come down, now you also have to go through the maneuverings of the contract itself, which was a hang-up, which is the whole reason he's still unsigned, because they couldn't come to terms on it prior to all of this. So, I don't know that there's I think we all thought, I certainly thought, after the case was dismissed that we might get to a resolution on this, but I'm not so sure. Like this could drag on quite a bit longer. I have no idea. I could not even venture a guess to you as to when we'll see Quinshon Judkins in a Browns uniform and out on the field.
Jason, beyond running back, are there any other spots the Browns could look to add to, whether it's add just extra bodies or maybe young, intriguing prospects like what they did with Isaiah Bond or a week ago?
Maybe in the secondary, especially they're one Denzel injury away from catastrophe in the secondary, and obviously they had the scare at that a few days ago. I think he probably came through okay on that one, but with his long injury history, they've got a pretty good track record, honestly, of finding guys on the margins, particularly at safety. That's a position both Andrew and Kevin played in college. And I just think that listen, are they developing all pros back there? Maybe not to that level, but they find guys who can help. So there's a lot of names right now of guys that we probably don't know a whole lot about and aren't very familiar with. But if there's a spot where I would look at and say, man, I wonder if they can shore up an area, to me right now, that's a secondary.
Jason, ESPN ranked the Browns 32nd out of 32 teams in terms of watchability this year. Do you concur?
Right now, yeah. I mean, I know everybody loves Joe. I know Joe put on a show a couple of years ago, but I don't know that if you're not a Browns fan, that's not appointment viewing. Now, if Shedeur's in there at quarterback, yeah, it's going to be appointment viewing. But obviously, they're not. I'm sure ESPN took that under consideration. They're looking at the team right now. I'm not real excited to watch the Saints play. I don't know that I'd be real excited to watch the Patriots play. Like, there's a few teams I can come up with where I'm like, I don't know. I can't really get up for that. But from a national standpoint, yeah, I totally understand why the Browns would be low on the list right now, particularly Judkins is not out there. When you have the fifth pick and you take a defensive tackle, nobody's tuning in to view the defensive tackle. And then you take a linebacker in the second round, and they don't have a lot of flash picks. It doesn't mean they can't be great players and they can't build a really good team eventually. But right now, you're not tuning in to watch those guys, so I get why they would be ranked low on something like that when they don't really have a quarterback.
Jason, I think I know what you should get your wife for your anniversary. One word. A puppy.
What? Oh, we've got one.
Get another
Not
one.
A puppy.
Yeah, get another one.
Jason, didn't you once travel? I think I was on the air with you once where we told the story about you traveling like 2 hours to try to get a dog.
I drove to Detroit to try and get these Labradoodles. Yeah. And And yeah, it was like the GPS said like 2 hours and 10 minutes away, and I was supposed to be there right when they opened. And I made it like an hour and 45 minutes, and the line was out the door, and I had no chance of getting these dogs.
You didn't even get the dog.
We have a golden doodle now, and it is very much her dog. Like, it is her dog. The rest of us just sort of exist in the house, but this dog is completely obsessed with her.
Is your dog house trained at least?
Oh, yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
No, it's good. Okay. So you can give Ken tips on how to house train a little dog like that.
I just throw him outside. Yeah, just kick him outside. I mean, we've got a big dog. He's big and old like me, and I rank like the rankings are the dog, the kids, and then me. That's the rankings in the house here. The priority.
All right. How about this? What about a new house?
We just built one of those.
Yeah, you just did that. Again. Yeah, this would have been great advice like for 5 years ago.
No, that's what I mean. That was 5 years ago. You guys have Avon money here. What are we talking about, Jason?
No, we will. We'll go away for the weekend and have a very nice time. And a reminder of all the reasons why she should not have married me and did anyway.
Congrats watching a preseason game during your anniversary getaway weekend.
We will not be doing that. I will catch that. I'll record it and catch it when we get back.
And if you'd like, we can send another list of maybe like just from a different point of view on how she made this mistake.
Please, by all means, send that over. I'm sure she'll get a kick out of it.
Jason, great stuff, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
See you guys.